Hey. Welcome everyone to the day 2 synthesis document town hall session. Very, very happy to see a very full room and happy to see everyone sitting at the table. We were very encouraged actually from the very fruitful and robust discussion we had at the end of day 1 that we actually did get some comments on the commenting platform. So thank you to those who did put in the comments. Thank you again also to the small volunteer group who met this afternoon and drafted some text around a particular paragraph on the right to be forgotten. I'm sure there's other topics and other paragraphs that people do have more input in. I was told by the tech team that we've received 42 comments so far on the document, which is a big improvement from last year, so that is really encouraging. One note I would like to make before I open up the mic for everyone to, continue giving their input and comments is people who made a contribution yesterday during the town hall session and did not put in the text on the commenting platform, the Secretariat has taken the lead to just put a placeholder of the topic that was mentioned, in the paragraph that was indicated. So please, people who did make a contribution yesterday, take a look at the commenting platform just to see if your contribution was captured correctly, and if you do have specific text around your topic or around your placeholder that you would like to add, please do put it on there. So without further ado, and I have introduced our 2 co-moderators from yesterday. Again, we have Miss Maureen Hilliard and also Miss Chat Garcia Ramillo. So I'll turn it over to our moderators.
I was just going to do that. Just before we get going, thank you everyone. It's wow, people are really pouring in here. It's really neat to see. Come around. You can go around. You can go around there too. If you like. What we've done is we've got a couple of mics. Here we've got. We're going to have some roving mics up the front too. So please, if you've got anything to add to this document, put your hand up. We'll give you a mic. Feel free. Is there anyone who'd like to start? I'll give you a few minutes to think about it. No, 1 minute to think about it.
Can you say your name and organization?
I was kind of hoping someone else would start, but I'm Gayatri. I work with the Association for Progressive Communications. There were 3 paragraphs on which I wanted to comment and suggest text, but I was not able to directly do it on the document, so I've left it in comments. That's paragraph 36, 37, and 39. Yeah. On 36, this is slightly different from the discussion we had yesterday, which is why I think I wanted to highlight this. On 36. 36. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's investigation and prosecution. Well, actually, the issue with investigation and prosecution of matters or of activities that happen online goes further than just MLATs, that's the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaties. The fundamental problem there is legislation on ICTs that are coming up quite rapidly across the region. Currently, there are offline legislation that are being applied to online spaces, but in addition, there are also specialized legislation in the form of Information and Communication Technology Act, or whatever it is called in the different jurisdiction. My point there is that MLATs is a really important aspect, but the phrasing I've offered 2 different kind of text. I've offered 2 not different. I've used one which does not include MLATs and another one that also includes MLATs. But the point being there is that all legislation and policies that seek to govern ICT spaces must meet international standards, whether it's conventions or even in governance like the ICCPR. They must all come together. The second point is that there was a discussion about the Budapest Convention, but I have a feeling we might have missed something there, because the Budapest Convention is a regional convention for Europe. It's not a global convention. So that's perhaps why there was a suggestion made about making, perhaps developing one at the regional level.
Sorry, just a point. Even if it's a regional convention, it's so open for accession for non-council of member countries. Japan is a member of the Budapest Convention. So regional instrument with the possibility of other countries joining. That's an important point. My name? Marie-Laure Lemineur from ECPA International, based in Bangkok. Thank you.
Any others? Any more? Anything, any issues that came up with the discussion today? From yesterday, one of the things that came up is that it's important to have in this synthesis document, especially issues that have been discussed and have come up in discussion. So anything, I think that you feel you need to look at from your discussions in the workshops. Maybe behind me. From the Youth IGF, anything you discussed specifically that you want to be included? Ah, okay. You mean in the placeholders? Okay.
So there was a suggestion from the floor that from the issue that was brought up yesterday about placeholders, if nobody feels very strongly about keeping a certain placeholder, that it might perhaps be a way of taking it out or making it more robust. So we could use this time right now, because we are all here face to face, to take a look at these placeholders and see if we do or do not want to keep it in this document. Because as of right now, there are quite a few placeholders that are currently in draft 1 that our drafting committee will have quite a lot of work ahead in this coming week to reconcile. So whoever is actually, can we scroll back up to all the way up? Yes. Nope. Come back down. That's a little too far. Paragraph 25. Oh, 27. Yep. Stop. There you go. If we can click onto paragraph 26. Actually, that might not be the most up-to-date version. No, it is. If you click on that, we can see that I've included from the contribution from the audience from previous day that there was 2 placeholders for new sections that may or may not be folded into the current sections. The first one is intermediary liability, Manila Principles, and the second one is capacity building. So if anybody in the room would like to speak a little bit about that, or speak to whether keeping it or crafting more text around it, now would be a very good time to have some discussion around that.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking the wrong way. I just wanted to make a comment about 27. Is it really intended to keep that there? Because it is the theme of the conference. That should be the main heading over everything, so there's no need to duplicate it there. And a general comment, just to clarify the readability of the text. Maybe you could standardize or explain the meaning of capitalized text, the meaning of highlighted in yellow, the meaning of other forms of highlighting and presenting, whether they all have the same status. And just a third comment on capacity building, looking at the comment over on the right-hand side, capacity building there is defined, so maybe you need a separate section for definitions without necessarily repeating all the definitions rolling through the text. Make it more of a sort of legal UN type document where you have a section on definitions at the top which apply right throughout the whole text.
I think that we should keep a placeholder for Manila Principles because it is the latest document giving guidance to private sector that's participating in this multi-stakeholder process. And it is making headway into becoming a soft international law because it has been cited by UN Special Rapporteur on freedom of speech, has been cited by Human Rights Council report, and it is being cited in many submissions by civil society working on internet freedom. I think that having Manila Principles there and you know, crafting a language will not be all that difficult. It can be done in a couple of minutes because we just want to say private sectors and governments, or governments and private sectors should respect Manila Principles. Some simple language along that line will suffice. So I'm in favor of keeping the place order and putting in a simple language like that.
Oh, yeah, I also
Yeah,
agree to have...
I'm drafting something that I will send out on a comment on this point.
Oh, I also agree to have a paragraph on the internet intermediary liability, internet intermediary services. This is important. I agree to refer to Manila Principle. That is primarily about intermediary liabilities. Just now we have a discussion on this stand up for digital rights. That's more comprehensive recommendations, not only about liability, but also about their obligations, including social responsibilities. So I wonder whether you have more thinking about that. But the intermediary, yes, that's really the kernel for this internet services.
Thank you for the comment. She's referring to this joint report titled Stand Up for Your Rights, Recommendations for Responsible Technology, which was just introduced to the IGF community at a session that just ended now. I really thank you for the compliment because I was one of the drafters of the research, but because it is so new, I respectfully or I cannot withdraw something that I didn't propose, but I think it'll be okay not to put that into the synthesis document now because only the people who participate in the workshop have seen it. So it will take too much time to collect critical mass of consensus from the participants.
from the hello. Hi, this is Jennifer Chung from the Secretariat. Just a very quick response to Winston about, explaining a little about the text, what the highlight means, what the capital letters mean. As you see, actually projected on the screen, paragraph 26 is just really a note for people to know that the highlighted text in draft 1 of this document, all of this text is actually taken from the APrIGF website, derived from all the proposals, the workshop proposals that we received for this event. So all of the highlighted text you see is placeholder text. If we decide that this is actually good language, we can keep it. If we decide we want to reword this language, it is. I mean, the whole document is there for you to reword, as we can reflect more. We can reflect better what was discussed actually in Taipei. So the capital letters is just a note, and the highlight is the placeholder text. And one more quick comment from Gayatri about commenting directly on the document. Actually, the way to comment on this document is to click on each paragraph and put it in as a comment. So as you see, kind of in the middle of the projection screen, you can see the numbers 0, 1, 0, 3, and those are actually the number of comments on each paragraph. So if you actually have an issue or text suggestion or comment or question on a specific paragraph, you're able to then click on and comment and give your input there. So handing it back to our moderators.
Am I missing something from this side? No. Are there any other comments on anything?
Looking at the various placeholders, if we take, for example, number 28, about connecting the next billion, we take 31, human rights, sustaining diversity. There's clear links there between those. And so I'm suggesting that maybe they can be combined, or there can be clusters of related topics, and so there's a clear stream then of the various topics. And the other question I have is that some topics, I mean, with the themes, for example, human rights, there was a lot of coverage about particular issues that related to women's rights, and I know that that has been added in the comments by the Secretariat, but because of the prevalence of those particular discussions here, maybe there should be a little bit more than just the word women's rights or something like that.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay.
Can we look at paragraph 36?
Yes, 36.
The paragraph puts into question the current mutual legal assistance agreement system, whereby any surveillance done within a physical territory approved allows people to choose different services through which they can communicate with one another. And depending on where the servers are located, different rules of privacy, different rules of criminal procedure apply. So for instance, if I'm communicating with my fellow Koreans within Korea, if I want to communicate with my fellow Koreans within Korea, safe from search and seizure or surveillance by the Korean government, I can choose to communicate through a service administered through a server located offshore, like in the U.S. And Malad process kind of separates. Malad process makes sure that if there is any surveillance done on my communication going through U.S. server, that surveillance is approved by a U.S. judge. I think this is a protection that all netizens of the world should enjoy. So I oppose that paragraph because it shows only one side of the picture. Again, I think the cumbersomeness of going through the Malad process is actually benefiting, is protecting people's privacy. So, yes.
Yes, there is a suggested text on that. Would you look at that and see if that actually reflects your concern, or if you can work with the alternative text and you can comment on that? Could be one way, because it doesn't hear the cumbersome the sentence that says, but the process is very cumbersome, is deleted from the alternative text that it's being suggested.
I'll be willing to do anything, but to water down or delete a paragraph, but it will also have to be with the consent of whoever proposed the main text or the comments.
I'm one of the people who commenting on that paragraph, and I actually agree with Case Park that the idea. I mean, basically the idea of the comments that have been made is like just. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Artit from Thai Netizen Network. Thanks. Basically, the main idea of the comments that has been made. If you scrolling down a bit. It's actually the protection of the person in question who got investigated, and what I say is actually like if there are actually different levels of protection in relevant jurisdiction, the highest level of protection should be honored. So actually basically the same thing that as Case Park proposed. Yep.
Yeah, I want to support Kay's comment as well. But yeah, I'm Kelly Kim from OpenNet Korea. He's my boss. But I just want to.
I told her to take the mic.
Actually, I poked him to say something about this. So recently there was a case on this, specifically this issue on a Facebook posting in Korea. So this guy posted pictures of a gun, and I don't know the exact comment, but he was threatening to assassinate our president. And like, let's go to the Blue House. Blue House is White House of Korea, and so he was I don't know how serious he was, but the prosecution, the investigative authority considered it as an insult to the president. So they wanted to find the identity of the person. So actually, well, in theory, they should go through this MLAT process, which is very cumbersome, as it says, and which takes a long time. So instead, they send an email and warrant in PDF in PDF form and send an email to Facebook headquarters requesting identification data of the person. We were, I don't know what the consequences of that request, but like the investigative authority, police, or the prosecution office was like complaining about how cumbersome this process is and why they cannot get the identification of this person just right away, like the way it is in Korea when they deal with like Korean intermediaries. It's so easy to get those information. They can just make a request, but because Facebook is like US company or the server is in US, they had to go through this. They had to go through this process, but to bypass them a lot, they just send an email. So as to support Kaya's comment and I agree with Arthur that it can be a protection than a cumbersome process which delays investigation or prosecution.
Okay. Yes.
So to make my proposal concrete, maybe we can remove the paragraph in the main document and replace with a synthesis of the two comments there are two comments, right? Arit and the one above by Gayatri.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, there's one more there. Oh, okay, but the one below will be, I think.
Yes, it's either or. So
Yeah.
if you use
Okay.
the second one and the rest of the comments, yes.
Yes. In terms of synthesizing the final text, I don't know who's going to do that, but it has to be done by tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Yes? No?
no.
Okay.
You can make a suggestion around the.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
By tomorrow.
I'll try. I'll use commenting. I'll use the commenting platform.
Yes. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much. We've only got a few more minutes left. Is it a shortened time today, which is unfortunate. But one of the things that we're really, we are really keen for more comments. And can you just scroll right down up to the top, sort of like where there's a whole lot of questions?
Scroll up to paragraph 16, please.
As you can see, there's a series of questions, and this basically sort of like underpins a lot of what we're actually trying to incorporate into this document. So if you're sort of like looking for something to, like if you're trying to find a topic or something, have a look and see if it sort of fits into the questions that we actually have here, because it really would help us put together something that's going to sort of like be valid and relevant to what it is that we're trying to achieve here. And also remembering, as we said, leave a comment on paragraph 16 if you want to, if it's actually on, and then you can just, for each person who puts in a comment, you put your own name, you put your comment, and it keeps it separate from everybody else's, but it's on that particular topic. Please feel free to add.
This is Haley from Net Mission, and I would suggest to add a capacity building like these topics into the synthesis document. And actually, in Hong Kong, we have organized several toolkits for the secondary and also university students for the issues of internet governance. And I suggest, especially in South Asia, it is important for us to increase this kind of works, because we are like in Asia, in Asia, we're lack of this kind of capacity building. And I will actually tomorrow we have another section for the successful practices for youth engagement, and I would suggest to add this. And then tomorrow, after we have like a discussion, further discussion on this, we'll have more details on the contents. Thank you.
We have 4 minutes left, so anyone with a burning desire to come to the mic?
I think that may I suggest that some of you might have difficulty like me. I'm not the native speaker. There are several documents you can walk through, like IGF stock taking document in IGF websites. There are a lot of lists of the concern. And you can develop a kind of idea from that stock taking. There's some paper that APrIGF also provide to the IGF. If you read and you can, that's the text, because I know the difficulty, like for example, that MLAT. If I read it, I will have the question that to whom you like to communicate. I don't know whether you want to communicate to the government or the country, or because there somebody need to working on conventions. So to whom you like to address. So maybe you read the stock taking because that have been passed through the edit and working also. There are maybe 10 pages. I cannot remember. And when do you remember how long it is? It quite a lot of stock taking article that it's been passed from the IGF. Read from there, and then maybe you can construct the text easy for someone that like to participate. And you can read and think, okay, this is matched with what you think that you like to communicate. That can be a base of adjusting the text as well.
Yeah, so we'll point out where that document is that might be helpful for people. Anything else? I think we have 2 minutes by now.
Something absolutely burning that came up in today's sessions, perhaps?
I'm Artit from Thai Netizen Network. Thanks. Okay. Do we still keep that like respect to cultural differences, or is like removed, or like there's a question from yesterday actually?
Yeah. Okay, I think there are a number of comments on that specific on 37. You're referring to 37. So what I would, and there are several here, so what I propose is that the drafting committee can look at this different comments, because these are from many different people, and then see, and then look at how we either, because one of the suggestions is to actually replace this with something else. Huh? So we'll look at that, and then in the next version you will be able to see what we have done. But I think one of the suggestions there was to replace this 37.
Going. Look, I know that it's 1:15. I mean, it is time to shut up the shop. But we would like you, please look at this document. Please add a comment. Please, we have a look through those questions. There must have been something that was really sort of like that really captured your attention, that you think is actually really valid for Asia Pacific, that you would like, you think it should be in there. Even if you're not sure that it should be in there, put it down anyway, because it might give us something to it'll give us something to sort of like blend into our document. you know, just even mentioning, for example, the cultural differences as comments. There's some really interesting comments in there, and among the 8, there are 2 that says get rid of it. But we need to hear that, okay? Because we need to sort of like see how people are thinking.
Thanks, Maureen. Can I just make a procedural suggestion? When you go through the comments tomorrow, when you go through the synthesis document tomorrow in the town hall session, just to make sure that nothing gets missed, could I suggest modestly that you go through it ploddingly, step by step, paragraph by paragraph. Paragraph 1, any comments, yes or no? Paragraph 2, any comments, yes or no? Right through to the end, and then go back, and if necessary, all over again. Just work through it paragraph by number, just to make sure that everybody has read every paragraph, or at least had a split second in the room to focus on each paragraph. Because if we sort of scroll up and down madly like this, it seems to me there's a danger that some things might get accidentally left out, overlooked. That's all.
Hello. This is Jennifer Chung from the Secretariat. Thank you, Winston, for your procedural suggestion. It is very unfortunate that tomorrow we won't be having a town hall session, but I do know that going through paragraph by paragraph is, you know, in a consecutive manner is a good way to make sure nothing is missed. However, we do also want to keep in mind that we have remote participants who are not in the room with us, not in Taipei. So we do want their input as well. As I've mentioned yesterday, and this feels like I'm kind of a stuck record, please do go on the comment platform. You can see the URL up there. It's comment, oops, oh, there you go. It's there too. Comment.rigf.asia. Please do, if you've suggested something, and I know that a lot of people who did make a contribution at the town hall session today did agree to, you know, go back and actually put in some text. Please do that. We will have our drafting committee go through every single part of, you know, your comments to make sure everything is captured. And people I know might have mentioned something. We'll go through the transcripts to make sure that also gets captured. The commenting platform will not be closed. So throughout the night tomorrow, it will still be open. We will close this after the event so we can actually synthesize the input from everyone. But then the draft that results from the synthesis will be out for comment again early August. I think I mentioned it was August 5th. Don't quote me on that, but the actual timeline will be available on the website. We will post the proposed timeline so you know you still have opportunities to give your input and make yourself heard. I know in our region it might not be so easy to just stand up to the mic and start speaking when you're a little, you know, unsure about, you know, how to frame a certain concept that you really want in the document. But please go back, take a look on the website, put your comments in, and hopefully at the closing plenary tomorrow we'll have a little more detail on what's going to happen next for the document. So with that, I'll pass it back to the moderators to close the session.
I close this session. Go and go and have fun. Thank you very much.